Alright, hello there. Part 6, let's do it. And I'm not nearly as intoxicated as last time, so hopefully we won't have any more failures. So we've just had our second loss, and I always knew the narrow pass was going to be a particularly challenging one. Even though it is only difficulty 2, these difficulties don't really mean much other than the amount of points you get. And I think the problem was an over investment in the ballista towers, because it's actually been a while since I've used them. I don't usually go for them that often, and I'm not sure if they've changed it or if it's just been so long. I didn't realise that they use up 3 workers each, so that restricted my ability to rush to the shocking towers, and just the small area they come through. Trying to do this mission without shocking towers, I'm just not sure it's doable, to be honest. This is going to be interesting. I haven't actually played any of the Billions since the last stream, so don't know how good I'm going to be. Let's hope we don't get another loss. I'm trying to keep it to as few as possible. Yeah, I do believe that, again, trying to rush for the stone workshop and not using the ballista towers because the amount of workers it ends up taking is just too much. We have to really be economical with our workers to do this. Once we get past the first wave, the difficulty should decrease pretty significantly, but as with most missions, the first wave is the make or break one. It seems as if we've already attracted a sizable number that we didn't really want to. It's the best of starts, but we should, since they're just shamblers, we should be able to kite them okay.
This better be good. Roger that. You again. What? Gotcha. Faster than my bow.
So I do feel that the extra ballista we start these matches off with, much like when you start off with the extra soldier and sniper, it might be a little bit of a double-edged sword. Yes, you get the extra damage, but with the soldier and sniper you get a lot of extra noise being generated early, and with the ballista you're losing a lot of workers to get that ballista. Okay, I don't feel overly happy about having to split them off, but
Are there other units to bother?
need a little bit more DPS down here.
What? Great. You are gonna pay me for this, right? You order, you pay.
Just try and quickly thin this group out as best we
You are
can.
gonna pay me for this, right? What? Yes. You are gonna pay me for this, right? This better be good. Are you sure? What? Great. You again. This better be good. You again. This better be good. Okay. What? You again. This better be good. What's up? Any infected around? Are you sure?
Our forces are in danger.
What? Right between the eyes.
So yeah, until we have our stone workshop, I don't think we're going to be bothering with the ballista towers.
What's up? Any
It's
infected
just
around?
too expensive worker-wise. We'll get a few rangers, but even on the soldiers, we're going to have to be quite conservative to make sure we have enough workers. We need 10 for the wood workshop, 20 for the stone workshop. So that is enough, but that's before we're even taking into account the fact that we're going to probably need a soldier center up as well. It really does all add up quite quickly. But that's a day one wood workshop, so can't be too unhappy with that, unless something sneaks in and gets it.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Gotcha. What do you want?
Let's make sure if they're firing quite consistently that they keep changing tiles so not to generate too much noise. That's now become the most vulnerable position, so let's get a second ranger up there.
Gotcha. What? A new task. This better be good. You are gonna pay me for this, right? What? What do you want now?
And it is, as is often the case, it's really just the complete lack of space early on that causes us trouble. I did see a post on the Steam forum saying that obviously not true for everything, but there are a lot of later missions that end up becoming a lot easier than the early ones. Purely because in the early ones you're normally stuck slap bang in the middle of the horde, whereas in later ones you're normally in a corner and it gives you a very clear way to progress, so you know what to defend.
Arrived at the station.
I think as well as being conservative of those, we're probably going to want to be conservative. I mean, even just minimizing what we build, like things like sawmills and whatnot,
Oh,
use up
here we go
workers.
again. Straight to the heart. What?
It's weird because I don't like not... I suppose actually there's quite a lot we can just research, isn't there?
What?
So that we don't let our gold spill over.
A new task. What? Okay. A new task.
Okay, so we can probably stick the stone one there. How important is food going to be? We have some grass down here, and I reckon we can get quite a decent amount from that lake. So I don't think farms are going to be too vital early on, especially if we're very economical with our resources.
You are gonna pay me for this, right?
Because even right now I'm debating should we even bother with the sawmill, because we are getting a decent amount coming through from the trains. So it would be feasible to just straight up not get it. And these don't use up workers either. That's good.
You again. Yes.
Attention. Building completed.
A new task.
Units under attack.
You again. This better be good. What? Great. You again.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Technology research finished.
What do you want now? Sounds interesting. It could be worse.
Building completed.
Okay, this is a decent start. We just have to be... I think
You again.
this game, I find it's... The biggest killer is usually complacency. You get quite comfortable in how you're going. It's like, ah, this is easy, I've got this, I've done this before. And it does not allow you to make many mistakes. So even just a small little it's fine can very quickly spiral out, and I think that's what ends up killing me more than anything. It's not necessarily even the difficult, even yeah, it is a difficult game, but it's more just the you think you got it sussed, and then something slightly different plays out. For instance, there's now a runner coming up here. What the hell?
Attention.
Okay,
Building
so we want
completed.
to. I think what we're going to try and do is try and make sure that the workers never drops below 20, no matter how many rangers we get. So that way we will always have what we need for the stone workshop. In actual fact, it's not seeming that difficult. I'm a little bit embarrassed that I failed the last one. It doesn't... Famous last words. It doesn't seem too bad thus far. Although we will need another power plant to get that working.
Our forces are in danger.
Here we go again.
Oh Jesus, it didn't take long for those famous last words to become...
Better be good. What do you want now?
That's not
Yeah.
going to kill us. We just need to be a little bit more conservative.
Attention. Building
More
completed.
orders.
Make sure we keep moving across to try and dissipate that noise.
What's up? Any infected around?
This is still the most vulnerable section, so probably want to keep to up here. Question? Actually, no, this is probably not the most vulnerable section.
The train has arrived at the station.
29 workers. That's very nice. I do think we are now going to need the sawmill.
Attention. Building completed.
This better be good. What's up? Any infected around?
Our soldiers are in
My
trouble.
probe is ready. Roger that.
Attention. Technology research finished.
You again.
Okay, keep moving them. And let's make sure, I mean, I don't know how much of this research we're going to need, but we don't want to let that gold go to waste. So even if it's just being put on just any old thing at this point, it's better than being put on nothing. Do we need that stone workshop? Probably not yet. I think that was also
A new task.
a bigger problem I was having before, is I was very much just an autopilot and not thinking what needed to be done. And sometimes, you know, you need to stall building certain structures because the map's a bit different and you need to account for that, and I just wasn't. So I was just doing the same thing over and over and not really thinking ahead, and this isn't really a game you can do that in. Okay. So, what do we need for this? 20 energy, 40 wood, 40 stone. I think we get 8 every few hours, so we're not... If we build some more tents down here, we could afford... Or we could build them now actually. We could afford to build that quarry, because that should give us the workers we need.
The train has arrived at the station.
See, 20 plus 2, let's go for 4 range at the moment.
Oh, here we go again.
Attention. Building completed.
And that way you can probably get, see,
Attention.
try and get at least 2 or 3 on each corner. And we can get some tentage in here. Oh, and I can't remember, did we get the +1 range on our shocking towers? Because if we did, then if we stick 1 shocking tower on each avenue, that should be it. Like that should be able to hold by itself, and then we can just focus on pushing out. But I can't remember if we did on this playthrough or not. I really should have double checked that.
My probe and arrows are great.
like to get a market, but I don't think that's going to be the case. Probably just to build a more efficient housing district later down the line. I think trying to stick this in here, we're going to struggle with. Yep, 34 workers. We are doing A-okay. One more train delivery should give us what we need for the stone workshop. In fact, yeah, we're doing absolutely fine for time. I don't know what I was doing last time to fall so quickly behind. Or just wasn't really pausing it, or just doing something alright. In fact, we have. Actually, no, we need another windmill. I'm about to say we have the resources to build 4 shocking towers, but we absolutely don't. Oh, what the hell? What's up with this little mini horde?
Units under attack.
What? Aren't there other units to bother? Is that all?
Can you not, please?
What?
Let's close that. Let's make sure they're all on different tiles.
Our forces are in danger.
There's a very strange spike in sound. Is there enough space? Yeah, we can fit another line of houses. Good, good, good.
You again. Great.
Yeah, what on earth has caused that?
Train has arrived at the station.
My bow and arrows. What do you want now? Yeah.
Attention. Technology research finished.
This better be good. Are you sure? My bow and arrows are ready. What?
Oh my.
What do you want now? Oh, more
What are we
orders.
doing to cause so much noise? It might just be the fact that those buildings are being constructed, to be fair.
Attention.
I don't think they generated all that much.
This better be good.
Now the most dangerous part of this is going to be getting the shocking towers installed, because if they start firing before I have them all set up, then it could cause enough energy, cause enough noise to start pulling them from everywhere. So I need to build them a little bit further back when I install them. Ah, a little bit tight on workers again. Knew that was going to happen. Okay. Doesn't have any energy there. Can we slot one of these in somewhere? Not really. We can always stop the sawmill and the mill if we need to. Or we just slot a farm in there. And that solves all our problems.
Bow and arrows are ready. What? Gotcha. Sounds
Attention.
interesting.
Building complete.
Okay, probably can go for a shocking tower on the top right. I think that's the one that's safest at the moment.
Roger that. A new task.
It seems strange trying to build it in the areas that safest, but
Attention.
we don't want them firing until we have them all installed.
Attention. Technology research finished.
Or we wait until we know where the horde's coming from, because we don't actually have that much time left.
Attention. Building completed.
How much time we got? We probably will have enough for 2, so we should be able to cover both possibilities where they're coming from the north.
Building completed.
I'd love to get a second sawmill up so we could get some proper wood walls going. The biggest threat with this wave is if we do manage to get the shocking tower up, is that causing so much noise that it pulls them from the areas not defended.
Building
That's actually what's more likely to kill us at the moment. Should we... upgrade these? Let's upgrade a few. Let's just upgrade 2 for now. And keep an eye on our wood.
Attention. Building completed.
Well, our wood, our energy, our everything we need to keep an eye on.
This better be good. Okay.
The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Technology research finished.
Okay, 20, 30, 30, 600. We might actually.
What? A new task. This better be good. What do you want now? Are you sure?
Okay, really push out with that. Really, really push out. These sound spikes are really confusing me. What is happening that's causing so much noise? We're not generating anything, but we keep getting these weird little mini grooves come through. Yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Hang on this side. Can we pull? Not really. Not really is the answer. It can't be the construction of that because that is so far away. That shouldn't be causing it. Okay, we don't want to be building them.
Aren't there other units to bother? Yeah.
at the
Units
moment.
under attack.
Okay. Let me put an arrow in his head.
That is enough to cause us a bit of a nuisance, though, a bit of a mischief. Alright, I'm just gonna have to do some
Aren't there other units to bother?
Our forces are in danger.
micromanagement to try and deal with this. We need to keep them away from those tents. They can't be banging on any walls because that's going to generate way too much noise. Do we have... okay, 2 of them are vets.
You are gonna pay me for this,
So
right?
we've got that going for us.
A new task. What?
It's just
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Great. What?
a very
Yeah,
weird
so yes,
amount of
you are gonna pay me for
aggro
this,
we've
right?
pulled.
Oh, more orders. A new task.
Not quite sure how.
You are gonna pay me for this, right?
Oh, please don't tell me... oh, no, that is a zombie. I thought it was a dead ranger then. That would have been a problem. We might have to sacrifice a ranger on that side. Just because I don't know why, but there is a lot coming from there.
You are gonna pay me
Units
for
under
this, right?
attack.
Yes, tell me. But be quick. Okay.
Oh, actually, I'm not even sure if that's going to work because this is it seems to be kind of a scheduled one.
What?
It's got, I hate to do this, but I'm going to need to pull them away.
A new task.
That's not going to be able to hold without a little bit of assistance.
You again.
I'm just a little bit
You are
confused by
gonna
this.
pay me for this, right? Yes. What do you want now?
Our forces are in danger.
A new task. What? You again. What? A new task. Are you sure? What? Okay, let's do this.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Aren't there other units to bother? What? Oh, more orders. What do you want now? Faster than my bow.
Okay, that's holding fine. Once that's up, that'll be fine.
Gotcha.
Let's actually delete these just to be on the safe side.
You again.
Oh, yeah, what a very strange spike in
You're
aggro.
gonna pay me for this, right? And you
Quite
tax
sure
me.
how that's occurred.
Yeah.
Don't want to have to do it, but I think the one at the bottom, it's gonna have to take one for the team.
You again. Yes, tell me. But be quick. Right between the eyes. What? Roger that. You are gonna pay me for this, right? You again. You are gonna pay me for this, right? This better be good.
Our forces are in danger.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Yes. You again. This better be good.
That's almost up. Are they holding? They've got that.
Oh, more orders.
They
Aren't
should
there
have
other
that.
units to bother? And you tax.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Oh, more orders.
Say that.
What?
Did not actually.
Chase my arrows. Aren't there other units to bother? This better be good.
Okay,
Oh,
that's them down.
Here we go again. What? Okay. You again. This better be good. What's up? Any infected around? You again. Gotcha.
Units
Yes,
under
tell me.
attack.
But be quick. You again. What's up? Any infected around? Straight to the heart.
Oh my god.
What? My bow is
Click on.
ready.
Okay.
Great.
Right, she needs to move up
Our
there.
forces are in danger.
Okay. You again. What?
It's time for this ranger to be the hero we need. Okay, so that's gonna have one on top, one on bottom, which means we should get enough stone by the time the wave comes
What do you want?
that we can
Soldiers are in trouble.
This better
place
be
it on the side that's
Great
gonna need it.
idea.
So,
I'm just kidding. What?
unless I've
Yeah,
made
you are gonna
a
pay
really
for this,
lapsed
right?
narrow of those, if that,
Other units to
we
bother?
should be sorted for the first wave.
What? My bow
If
is
this,
ready.
if this
What do you want now?
chicanery doesn't kill us
What's up?
beforehand,
Any infected around?
it's a very odd aggro spike. Very, very odd.
As long as you pay me. Yes, tell me. But be quick. Roger that. Gotcha. Oh, here we go again.
Can we please delete that? Okay, okay. Apparently we can't. Okay. That's the best we're going to be able to do in terms of scratching posts.
What do you
Our
want?
soldiers are in trouble.
What? Great.
Okay, we can move her back
Are there
round.
other units to bother?
Building complete.
We need to not have so many split off from that group.
Great.
I'm wondering.
Aren't there other units to bother?
God, I hate this mission. God, I hate this mission so much.
Units under attack.
Whatever you say.
Can we get this ranger to be not dead? Can we actually just run around in circles until we can deal with him, or is she actually going to have to sacrifice herself?
Our forces are in danger.
I wonder.
You again. Roger that.
Yeah, wood's quite limiting at the moment, so... I mean, we have enough for a Tesla tower. Don't know how many workers either. Right, so we are going to have to get this back up and running. Slip one in there. It's not going to be the most efficient. We just have to find any spots for him at the moment.
Okay.
But if we're I was literally about to say, but if we're cheeky about this, we might be able to get out without anyone dying. But not sure that's going to be doable. But we can try. We can try. We do have a nice little bit of space here. She can finally run around in. I say as I almost run her into a dead end. But as long as not too many split off from the group, like a handful like this is manageable. Oh, I say that, even that's because of the health we've already lost, even that's cutting it a bit fine.
Faster than my bow. Gotcha.
And this is exactly why the Ranger extra damage upgrade is the most important tech upgrade in the game, because this would be, I mean, this is painful as it is. Can you imagine if there didn't have that as well?
Great. What? Yeah. My bow and arrows are ready.
Our forces are in danger.
I hope you're not wasting my time. You are gonna pay me for this, right?
I'm starting to come a little bit closer again. I'm going to be doing that. Oof. Blimey, 30 minutes have gone already just trying to micro these little ladies around.
Yeah.
Attention.
Great.
Building completed. Our
Okay.
buildings are being attacked.
Can you not? Okay, I don't... See, that's what I'm a little bit concerned about. Once that starts firing,
Is that all?
that's going to be generating a lot more
Our
noise.
soldiers are in trouble.
Oh shit, she's dead.
You are gonna pay me for this,
Okay,
right?
let's try and...
Are you sure?
Okay, so much for no casualties.
Gotcha.
Let's try and pull them back a bit. There's no one else we can pull off really, is there? We could pull them off
Here we
now.
go again.
Just make sure there is actually a space for them. I don't want them taking the long route round. And again, we're going to be generating noise anyway.
Yes, tell me. But be quick. You are gonna pay me for this, right? This better be good. And you test. What do you want?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to try and pull these into the deep.
The colony is under attack.
This better be good.
We're just running the risk of everything going wrong the longer we keep them up here.
Units under attack.
You again. This better be good. What? Okay. And you test.
Which unfortunately makes it highly likely we're going to lose a couple more.
Buildings.
Right, them hitting on the Soldier Center isn't too bad because that has some decent defenses as long as they stay away from the tents.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Yes. What? This better be good. Are you sure? What? You are gonna pay me for this, right? So
Our buildings
Okay,
are
so
being
we just got
attacked.
two of them running around in circles at the moment, almost like a whisk or something. Why are they being so silly? No. Where's the waypoints? There aren't waypoints in this game, are there? God damn it.
you again.
Need to get him off that Soldier Center.
Okay.
Colony is under attack.
Oh, more orders.
So though it's got defenses, it doesn't have that many.
Roger that. You again. This better be
They
good.
are trying to break into the buildings. Our buildings are being attacked.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Okay. What? Gotcha. You are gonna pay me for this, right?
Okay, so we want
And you
all
test.
of them. That's so we've got 11, and we want to
Hope you're not
form
wasting my time.
a line. Form a ring of steel.
Yes.
We haven't tapered off a little bit as well.
Yeah. Gotcha. What? Are you sure? You again.
Our forces are in
This better
danger.
be good.
she should be able to break through there.
The colony is under attack.
Let's try and thin these out. Colony's under attack. Okay. That's not too bad. That does look like quite a large range, so I'm pretty sure we went for the +1. I'll wait for that to fire and we can see if we can put a couple of walls down in front of it. And this is why we like the +1 range on these. It actually clears enough of a distance that we can build and start repairing it. But crucially, we need to know where that horde's going to hit, because we... say that. +6, +6, +6. We will actually have enough to put down for... no, we won't, because of the wood. That's only because I've just spent it there. So we will actually... ah! That's a problem. But I mean, it's still... we could probably afford to wait, couldn't we? Wait a little bit.
What? You again?
Our soldiers are in trouble.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Roger that. You again? What? Okay,
The walls
let's
are
do
under
this.
attack.
You are gonna
Our
pay me for
defenses
this,
are
right?
being
Roger
attacked.
that. What? Okay.
Oh no.
A new task. What? Let me put an arrow in
She
his
might
back.
be a goner there.
Roger that.
Is she?
They are trying to
A
break
new
through.
task. What?
Units under attack.
What's up? Any infected
Okay,
around?
that should have provided us enough breathing room to keep them out.
Whatever you say, as long as you pay me.
Let's just try and keep quiet and slowly chip at them like this.
The colony defenses.
That should be able to hold by itself. My biggest concern is if that's firing, and oh, that got down, that's starting to run. Okay, we are just going to need to place, as soon as we have the wood, place it up there.
Okay.
And then have all of our rangers on the 4th one to try and hold.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, that's doing okay. I would have liked to put it out a little bit more, ideally. But I'm thinking maybe if you put it there, and as soon as we have a bit more wood, build a Tesla coil so we can have out a bit more.
Okay.
Our
Sounds
defenses are
interesting.
being attacked.
It could be worse. What? Yeah.
Then we can at least put a wall in front of that. And then it just leaves us with this 4th avenue that's going to become a bit of an issue.
You again. Gotcha.
And as such, it'll probably be the first area we
They
clear.
are trying to break through.
Are you sure?
Our
Yeah,
forces are
that's doing okay.
Ready.
Can afford at least 2 more rangers. We have the workers for it.
Are in trouble.
Is that all? So boring.
And no executives, so yes, this should indeed be enough.
Units under attack.
Right, okay, that was a bit tense for a little while, but I think things should have... Dun, 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 dun.
Our forces are in danger.
Okay. A new task.
Why do I ever say it? Why do I ever say it? Things are going to be fine now. Instant regrets.
They are attacking the colony defenses.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Yeah.
We are going to... I think we're going to... Stop it.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have to stop the sawmill. Actually, no. Quarry is the one we could probably afford to stop more to get that power up. And then, yeah, in a little bit we'll have that one there, and at least we'll have them across the board. I don't even build that just yet, though. I want to make sure that that's cleared.
Our defenses are being attacked. Our soldiers are in trouble.
Okay, right. Fire, fire, fire. Hey.
They are trying to break through.
Great. What?
Okay. Right, and once we have this up, then we should be stabilized, and we can actually start, like,
Units under attack.
trying to do stuff rather than just literally surviving. Oh, she died. And once we get some walls up as well.
They are attacking the colony defenses.
My bow and arrows are ready. A new
Our
test.
forces are in danger.
Yes.
Yeah, we really need those walls up. We could actually afford
Oh.
to send,
Are there other units
I reckon,
around? What?
these ones at the back here.
Pay me for this, right?
Help stabilize this bit.
Great. Yes. Yeah. What? Roger that.
The
Yeah.
walls are under attack. Our soldiers are in trouble.
Okay, we don't have enough energy to stick down another wood one. That's not ideal. Let's just get a nice simple wall across here.
Oh, more orders. Got my bow and
Units under
arrows
attack.
are ready.
Well, that took like 2 seconds to go wrong.
Our forces are in
Oh my
danger.
god.
What? Roger that.
Okay, okay. Pull them back, pull them back.
What?
We've got the walls going up now.
You again? Oh, here
Our
we go
defenses
again.
are being
Okay.
attacked.
Oh, no, no. Come on, actually get that shot off. Do you to get that shot off?
Are you sure?
Oh. Yeah, I need to try and pull them off that tower. That needs to fire, or this is GG already. Oh no!
You are gonna pay me.
They are trying to break into the buildings.
Ah, don't tell me that's not gonna fire. I'm gonna be so triggered. Come on, come on.
Our buildings
Oh
are being
god.
attacked.
Oh. 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 Oh man.
Units to batter.
Okay. Shocking towers everywhere though.
A new test.
They are trying to
Oh,
break
that was cutting it as fine as it possibly could.
What do you want now?
Yeah, we're trying to get walls up at the moment, but we our wood supply is not nearly as healthy as we'd like it to be.
You again?
They are attacking the colony
Okay.
defenses.
In fact, desperate times call for desperate measures. If we get rid of that one, need to get another Tesla up, don't we? Okay, that wall's completely up now. Let's pull everything down here, because this is definitely going to be the biggest problem.
Yeah. Taste my arrows. Roger
The
that.
shocking tower should be able to hold. It's just a case of if it gets hit even a couple more times, we're in trouble.
Yes.
And we can't even put a wall up in front of it because we don't have the power being supplied there.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? What? Yes.
soldiers are in trouble.
From the north. Okay,
Gotcha.
that's fine. Doesn't actually matter where they're coming from. We've got all of our points defended now. Ah, I killed one of the rangers.
Yeah.
They are trying to break through.
But yeah, the +1 range on the shocking towers is absolutely godlike.
Yes.
They are attacking the colony defenses. Units
Okay.
under attack.
Okay. You are gonna pay me for this, right?
I just realised we let our gold fill up too much. Okay, stone bank. Go for the stone walls because
Here we go again.
The walls are under attack.
there we go. Walls up and shocking towers up at every avenue,
Being attacked.
which means can we not repair that? We don't have enough wood or stone. Shit. Right, that's in a very vulnerable position. That's only got 89 hit points.
They are trying to break through.
So to try and help it, I'm actually going to use that free ballista here.
They are attacking the colony defenses.
What do you want now?
Alright,
Oh,
alright.
that's the plan.
So it looks like they're going to be hitting the top left one.
Gotcha. Roger that. Okay. You are gonna pay me for this, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All good saying. Are you proud of me? Are you proud of me this time? I just want this mission to be done. This is the one I despise the most. It's the one I was tempted to put off till later, but I didn't think there was really much tech that was going to help us out. So
Yeah.
I'll sort of just go get to it.
Roger that.
Alright, what we want to try and do is lure them a little bit over to the right. We do have a nice body of range, but
Sounds interesting.
if we can pull them a bit to the right, that'd be ideal. And
Technology research finished.
more wood. We're really struggling for wood. Oh damn.
You order, you pay.
Close call. Oh god, yeah, no, that was fucking terrifying.
Okay.
But those shocking towers should have cleared a pretty large chunk around each one of the sections. But I do not feel. I don't have enough stone. I'm gonna double these up. I don't feel safe with just a single one.
What do you want now?
I don't feel safe with even just a double one. Just put another one down.
Are there other units to bother? Yeah.
I'd say this one isn't that difficult. See, I haven't come across. Oh, okay, she's dead. Alright, she's dead. Maybe it's different playstyles, because there aren't many later ones I've come across that I found
Walls are under
that
attack.
hard. The most of the Farmville ones are pretty nice. Like, which one would you say is the hardest so far? I know I haven't done all of them yet, and I don't think you have either.
What? Gotcha.
Like, which one would you say is definitively more tricky than this one? Because this is definitely the one that gave me the most problems.
They are trying to break through.
You are gonna pay me for this, right? Tax. Whatever you say. As long as you pay me. Okay.
They
Yes.
are attacking the colony
Straight to the heart.
defenses.
Let's see if we can grab that one. Farmville one's pretty easy. Yeah, I failed one just because I got cocky, pretty much. But other than that, they're not usually too bad.
Walls are under attack.
Noxious Swamp I still haven't managed to do. I've got a few ideas for that one, although I haven't actually got round to it, so I can't say whether it's easy or hard.
Sounds interesting. It could be worse.
I'm now on the Broken Land.
Gotcha.
Which one's the Broken Land? Have I got to that one yet? Big oof, the biggest of oofs. Yeah, which one's the Broken Land? If you can try and describe it, because I cannot recall. Also, northeast, northwest, southeast, or southwest? Which way do you think is probably best to start clearing first? I know there's some more resources down here. I can't remember which chasm is the nicest for building. And you got stone there. I think you got iron up here, but I did fail once on one of both of them, but it's so calm you always forget about. Yep. Broken Land is a lot of island-like places. Oh, that one. That one, I think the biggest problem is that it's almost like the opposite problem of the farm fields, in that there's such a huge collection of harpies. If you expand too quickly, you draw them in. So that one, it kind of goes against what you've learned. You need to almost stone northwest, iron northeast. It's northeast. So do you think one of the north ones? I'll expand up this way, I think, then, where all my ranges are. But yeah, it almost goes against what you've learned before, because you'll grab an area of land and then you want to sit on it rather than expand, because if you start expanding then you grab too much attention too quickly. It's and it goes against every natural They Are Billions instinct of constantly expand, constantly expand. And I think it's trying to expand is all well and good, but it's as much as skill learning when you can't expand. You just have to consolidate your position as well. But yeah. Beginning is all secure. Let's start going up here. By the way, if ever my mic starts doing that annoying buzzing thing, please tell me. I've ordered a new one, so hopefully it shouldn't persist in the future. Rather than building wood houses, we could probably just... Actually, we can't. This is not the neatest I've done this. That's blocked off. I can't put anything there. I was going to block that off as well. But yeah, finally got soldiers. Can finally do something other than survive. Feels good, man. Feels good.
Tell me what to do. Tell attention.
So boring.
Attention.
Yeah, I think those shocking towers. I think this is why the first horde in this is so bad, because it's such a condensed area. When the horde comes, it ends up dragging like the majority of that route with it. Like, look how much this has been cleared just from the shocking towers drawing them in. Like, that's a pretty significant chunk.
Order, sir.
And I think we've run out of things to research. We have. Ah, finally getting that repaired.
Is everything okay? The walls are under attack.
Probably should have actually gone that way, I'm thinking, because there's wood there. I think that's the thing what we're struggling with the most is wood.
Being attacked. Tell me.
I don't think there's any wood up here, is there?
Building completed. They are trying to break through. Our attention. Building completed.
Yeah, we didn't even need to put that ballista there, did we? That was a bit wasteful. Right, there's wood and grass in the south.
Our defenses
Is that southeast or southwest? I'm already committed to clearing this area out now. Although, actually, even that, I reckon we could probably... Ah, no! No! Ah, that's annoying. That's... whatever. Whatever. I thought I might be able to stick one in there.
Do you need me? Come on.
Okay, so we've had 2 losses in total with this playthrough. I reckon let's try and not do any more than 3. That's going to be kind of hard to do. And definitely don't have any more than 1 loss per map. Because I think that's going to be tedious if anyone's watching this in the future. Both, I don't know, never quite needed that much wood.
Commander?
Always need wood. Always need wood. Always got wood. Giggity.
Hurry, we'll arrive at the station.
Yeah, I was debating putting... I needed it early, so I put it straight in the middle because that gives like plus 15. But if I'd placed one on the left, one on the right, they individually would have been less efficient, but it would have generated more wood overall. But I was more rushing, thinking of the first wave. So I mean, I could delete it and place it, but
They are attacking the colony
oh wait, I
defenses.
could squeeze one in here, couldn't I? I don't have enough workers now. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Actually, hold on. No. If I cancel these 2, I should be able to squeeze one in here, shouldn't I? No, because yeah, there's not enough space. Yeah, and that's not the best windmill, to be fair. But I just needed one down for the. It's fine. It's fine. It's not. We don't need wood that badly. We've got. In fact, yeah, we've got 68 now.
Ready and wait. Reporting for duty. Our defenses
I would like to get a market up though, because hot damn, if we could actually buy the resources we needed, I might. It's probably not the best idea if you're going to go into negative workers, but if I delete those, I'm an idiot. If it's going to go into negative workers, I can't build it, can I? I'm a fucking moron. Alright, we'll leave that space open for now. We'll upgrade these. We'll see how many workers we have at the end of that.
they are trying to break through.
Like, we don't need the food decrease, but being able to actually buy the resources we need, because we're getting so much extra gold anyway, would be really... It would be super swell.
Colony defenses.
It'd be really neat.
All right. Reporting for duty.
That's a really off topic thing. Oh, not totally off topic, 'cause it's to do with zombie movies. I always get John Romero and George Romero mixed up. George Romero is the one who made the Night of the Living Dead. No, not Night of the Dead. Day of the Dead. Like Night of the Dead, those kind of movies. And then John Romero is the one who made Doom, I think. If I've got them around the right way. But the person who made the first Day of the Dead, Night of the Dead, the person who made the first zombie movies actually used to work on the set of Mr. Rogers, and you know, he just loved all of that. And as most people know, Mr. Rogers was very encouraging for all of his staff to go off and do their own things. And apparently, he went off and made this zombie movie, and you know, invited all of his friends to go and see it, which included Mr. Rogers. And he was really nervous about having him watch it because, you know, he's all very wholesome, teaching kids good values, and this is a movie about people coming back from the dead and eating people alive. But apparently, he sat down and watched it, and he goes up to George Romero at the end of it. It's like, that was really neat, George. And it's just, I can imagine that, like, he's so, from what I know about him, he's so chill that even something that's a bit dodgy, he'll be like, you gave it your best, that was a good effort, George. And there's a little when they first did those sort of zombie movies, the makeup artists whose name completely eludes me wrote a little book about how they did the kind of makeup and prosthetics for it, and they were working on like a micro budget. And apparently, and this is back in like the 60s or the 70s, like this was only when coloured TV was just coming about. So they had this thing where whenever they would shoot a zombie in the head to make the gunshot wound, they would actually put like a penny on the head, and they'd have like a bit of a string attached to it. And when the gunshot was fired, they would just yank it off, and you just have like a little bit of a blood bit afterwards. So it's literally just a penny being yanked off, and that's how they simulated gunshots back when you have like a budget of £2. Okay, this is awkward shape. Awkward shape. Hate it. Hate it so much. If they dare, if this next one dare comes from the north, from up here, I'm gonna fucking have an aneurysm. Saying, you are not much of a watcher when it comes to horror movies, are you? Not a fan of the macabre and grotesque.
Reporting for duty. Let's go. Our defenses are being attacked. Commander? Come on. Reporting for duty. Let's go.
I do have to admit, it's a bit of a guilty pleasure of mine. When it comes to horror movies, you go into them expecting very... obviously there's a few exceptions, but the quality of stories in general in horror tends to be a lot less than other movies. And you go in, the whole idea is they make up for it with like the more visceral emotion. And then you fast forward to modern day and it's just fucking jump scares and torture porn. there's so few genuinely good horror movies coming from the south. Okay. That's fine. Can we push all the way out and then make a turnaround? Do you have enough time to do that? I think we do. Yeah, when you actually have a foothold, pushing out isn't that hard. So what is it about horror movies that you don't like? Just not... Because I don't get the impression you're someone who gets scared by it. It's just not something you enjoy, as opposed to like a more of a fear of it. I mean, you play Dead by Daylight constantly, so it can't be the fear of it. We're not gonna have time to pull this back. Will that? Okay, bottom left. We could make this stone actually, couldn't we? It's a little bit awkward.
Yes.
Reporting for duty.
Right. This is the weird thing with YouTube's things. Apparently that weird face was held for review. Apparently. I get it quite a lot because I know there's DVD loses its fear factor pretty fast. Yeah, it does. It just becomes more annoying quite quickly. Yeah, there's a lot of shit with YouTube. It's like, oh, so and so is deleting comments and whatnot. And unfortunately, I don't know why, but it has like this thing where it automatically filters stuff, and you have to go in and manually review it. And the amount of just shit I've had to review that isn't even a little bit. Like, there's no swear words, nothing on the edge. It's like, oh man, you review this because it's spam, and it's like, it's not, it's a comment. Right. And then you have, and I've done it before where I've manually reviewed a comment from like 8 months ago that I had no idea was held for review. Yeah, before long it becomes a lot more about the competitive side of it rather than the actual scare side. Yeah, I mean BioShock 1, there's a couple of bits in it that's pretty scary, especially with especially in the early game when you don't have many weapons, or I mean at one point you don't have any, do you? You have a wrench and you've got that splicer who's running around on the ceilings and shit. And like hunting you, so I can see that. It's definitely got, I wouldn't say horror as opposed to more of a dark atmosphere. I wouldn't say horror out and out, but it does have horror elements.
Our defenses are being attacked. Just trying to break through. Great idea, sir.
Yeah, it's more. I think Steam tags are very general, aren't they? It's not saying that it's a horror game, just that it has horror elements to it. Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, Dead Space. I mean, that's a horror game, but you can fight back, so it's not. I mean, again, most of the spooks I think come more from jump scares and stuff, and it does have a really great atmosphere, kind of like a cross between brain, please. I was going to say Cthulhu-esque, but it's not. It's more like a cross between Alien and HR. I was going to say a cross between Alien and HR Geiger. HR Geiger made the fucking Alien, of course it's a cross. It's got. God, it's kind of like The Thing, if The Thing combined with Aliens, I think is the best way of doing Dead Space. And it's not scary so much as startling. Like, I think... How do I even... I'm not wording this very well. I need to get back to Dead Space. I played a small bit of Dead Space. I really like Dead Space. I really do. I actually like Dead Space 2 as well. I know a lot of people didn't because they made it so the protagonist could speak, and it was definitely more actiony, which isn't what Dead Space should be about. So I can understand why some people didn't like it. I was fond of it. Dead Space 3 sucked balls. Like, that's when EA got its grubby paws into it and started like pulling microtransactions and all that horrible bullshit. Yeah, definitely. I don't have to delete these houses. No, let's not. Let's just wait for the train. That wave took so long to come though. I've only got 5 days to the next wave. How many days do you have for this mission? 48. I'm not going to be able to expand out to all 4, am I? I've definitely not done something right. I'm definitely behind where I should be.
Any orders?
Let's swap these around. We have the Rangers patrol, and then have the soldiers clear. I think will make more sense.
Of course, my commander. For the colony! Come on, arrived at the station. Waiting on orders.
Now, in terms of horror, I think the predecessors to BioShock, the System Shock games, had a lot more horror going for them. It definitely has elements in it, but I always thought more philosophical slash action
Great.
than horror. It's just a couple of spooky points. The Dead Space games, yeah, they're definitely more startling. I think there's kind of a hard distinction between what class is horror, because when you have the how do I even describe this? It's almost like you have your popcorn humor, the stuff that jumps up, the jump scares. You know, it frightens you, you scream, if you're me, and then it's more that it's caught you off guard. It's a startle as opposed to a fright. And I think that's what most people go to movie theaters for, especially with like the Saw films and stuff. They want to get that adrenaline. I've been to Fort Park not too long ago, and there's something similar there called Darren Chan's. One of the magicians' ghost train. Darren Brown's ghost train. And it's not scary. I mean, the VR, the CGI in the VR is kind of fucking shit. It's more things jump up at you, and it's a little bit awkward. But the kind of horror that sticks, I mean, it's also the way the presentation's going, that he's not trying to do it. He says he like talks about like the nature of fear and the fact that this is, you know, going to spook you and stuff. It's more to get an adrenaline reaction. It's very visceral. I keep saying that word. It's like rock climbing. It's more seeking adrenaline than wanting to be scared. Whereas true horror, you know, something, yeah, cheap. But true horror, like, you know, I think most people talk about Silent Hill 2. It's not the fact that shit jumps out at you. It's the fact that it leaves you with this deep sense of unsettlement that follows you afterwards. And I think that's why people quite like Junji Ito's work, because it's not necessarily that his works make sense, because, you know, there are supernatural elements, but it sticks with you. So, there's some interest about Soma. I know Mauler covered Soma back before he was as big as he is now, and I believe it was Joseph Anderson who covered it. And Joseph Anderson, I mean, I like his work. I like most of his work. But he's one of those, yeah, Layers of Fear fucking sucked. I was so disappointed with Layers of Fear. Like, it had potential, and yeah. But Joseph Anderson was talking about it, and he was trying to how do I word this? He was trying to not describe, not compare. What's the word I'm looking for here? Analyze. I think he was trying to analyze Soma in the same way that he analyzed Amnesia. And he, in this video he did on it, he said specifically, Soma tries to be a horror game, and in that regard they fail. And I'm like, you are so wrong on that. So wrong. I mean, first of all, horror and fear is subjective anyway. It's what an individual person finds scary. Some people find clowns scary. There's 3 people on the planet that find them funny. You know, it's subjective, but the horror from Soma wasn't about the creatures, but about the concept. You know, I don't want to, if anyone does watch this in the future, I don't want to give it away, but the concept of it is horrifying. Like, the game itself isn't really scary, and I think when he was reviewing it, he kind of missed the point. You know, I don't mean to tell someone that they're doing something wrong, but he did it wrong. It seemed like he completely missed the point of what they were going for. And it's not that it was meant to be scary in the sense of, something spooky's jumped out at you and look how horrifying it is, blur. It's more the implications of what the game's about. That it leaves you thinking about it for like days or weeks afterwards, and that's real horror. But most people just think, crazy Axeman in the woods, which, you know, I think that's a different genre of horror. That's slasher horror. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I like slasher horror, but it's more like a guilty pleasure. I don't go there for a really deep cerebral experience. Light spoilers. Have I spoiled too much? I was hoping I was being vague enough that I didn't. But yeah, Soma's a fucking amazing game, and it's annoying that it didn't get the recognition it deserved from some people because it wasn't Amnesia. which is like it pissed me off a bit. People just seem to miss the point completely. Okay, yeah, wood is an issue. Workers is an issue. Everything's an issue. Yeah, exactly. The actual experience isn't scary, and I don't think it really intends to be all that much. It tends to unsettle you, but it's more the morality and the implications. And I don't think I can say anything more without spoiling it. Monsters, however, they had their own scariness factor because they were also different in how to fight them. See, I think I got something different out of it. Like the monsters were never, the monsters were barely a cliff note for me. It was more the moral dilemmas it would put you in. I think that's as vague as I can be without spoiling it. Like some of the decisions you have to make, and you know, it's just a game, it's not real, but when you think about what they're implying this is and how it could happen. I feel really sorry now for people who have to do spoiler-free reviews, because it's fucking difficult. I don't know how to describe it without just out and out saying it. But it's a good game for people that like good storylines. So if anyone here is listening and they're interested in that, Soma is a good game, but you have to go into it, I think, wanting to engage with the story. If you don't, I don't think you're going to get the same experience out of it.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Yeah, I might do a walkthrough of Soma at some point. That's definitely not a live stream game. I was more of a practice it, and then try and do a one playthrough without any cock-ups.
Defenses are being attacked. Building completed. They are trying to break through.
I think, I mean, it's the... Oh god, there's some executives here. I think it's the one point I will concede to the Joseph Anderson's review on that. It's...
Attacking the colony defenses.
I had a complete brain fart, sorry. I'm very well aware I've got a horde coming in soon. I'm trying to think about this whilst thinking ahead, and my brain just cannot multitask. No, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. I need to work on this. I really should be making more soldiers, shouldn't I? My resources were filled out. I want to try and get some shocking towers across here, which means... Wait, do I have warehouses yet? Yes, I do. Okay, that's going to be good to go for. In fact, if we had built one near our wood workshop earlier, that probably would have been good for us. We can stick it in the corner, get a couple more farms across here. We need more power.
Just tell me what to do.
Yeah, I mean, Soma's definitely scarier than Bioshock, but I would... In terms that Bioshock has horror elements, it's more... There's a few events that happen in it. Well, it's not even that. It's more... I think the bigger horror element isn't necessarily, you know, horror in the traditional sense, but more what humanity is capable of doing in certain situations. Like you have the mad surgeon who is capable of doing a lot more once Adam's the thing, and so he just becomes obsessed with cutting people up and coming to, you know, making someone beautiful, like the absolute perfect. But, you know, as beauty is in the eye of the beholder, he just gets driven insane because no matter what he works on, it's never quite right. So I think the horror elements from Bioshock is more from the depths of what humanity can do, as opposed to big scary monster kind of thing, you know. it's more cerebral. I was mostly speaking story-wise, not horror-wise. Okay, okay. Yeah, approaching from the north. I swear to God, if you cheeky buttfucks come up here, I am gonna have an aneurysm. Don't you dare come from there. I'm not gonna be able to get shocking towers up in time. I don't have the power. How long does it take to build a windmill? It's either that or I delete this now. That could work. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. What's that other game that you were talking about before? The one with where you like explore some kind of like weird area and you have an AI who's like talking to you, and then there's these constructs that almost like they mirror the movements you do, because that's one I want to cover. I know Rags did a review on it on Exclusively Games not too long ago. A little further back. Go hard or go home. We got this. We got this, boy. That should be built up in time. Although we probably actually want to make these stone walls just to be certain. That is, yeah, full there. I'll just cut them there. Dump. Pump. Echo! Yes, Echo! I really want to play that one. I really want to go through Echo. I just find it hilarious when you have a lot of like the big name companies, and a while ago, what was it? Oh, people don't want story driven games anymore. They want they want always online interactions. They want more social media in the games. I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm fucking sick of social media. I have to deal with people every day at work. I don't want to have to then deal with people when I come home to relax. And they do it with like the FIFA, and you have the always online systems now, and it's like, oh, gamers don't want horror anymore, or gamers don't want story driven games anymore, and it's like, the fuck are you talking about? Where did you get this information from? Is your demographic 14-year-old boys who play nothing but Call of Duty and FIFA? Because you're going to get a pretty skewed result then, aren't you? People don't want to sing any maybe one white player. Right, yeah, I don't believe that for a second. I mean, one of the most well-known and most respected games journalists is Yahtzee Croshaw, who fucking despises anything multiplayer. So, you know, maybe listen to the people who actually know what they want from games. That might be an idea. Actually listen to your customers. Yeah. Nah. I mean, it's why something that was just basically put together by one person, and I'm going to be honest, kind of a cheap jump scare like Five Nights at Freddy's, was so successful because there was fucking nothing else out. There was for the longest time, the only story-driven or horror-driven games came from indie developers, and so indie horror just like skyrocketed because no one else was covering it. Resident Evil, I decided to go into action for some baffling fucking reason. It's so dumb. Hush that. Horror's been the rise the longest time. Games and movies. What I mean is a lot of the bigger companies, like I know Capcom Resident Evil was kind of like a flag runner for horror gaming for a while, and then because they had so much success in number 4, they just gave up with it trying to be a horror game, and it's just been an action game for the longest time. I mean, all the Silent Hills ended up sucking after the second one. Like, there were some good moments here and there, but for the most part, they just kind of dwindled in quality. And it's why when you have then Dead Space, which I'm pretty sure Dead Space was a pretty small team when it came out, it became, like, I'm not sure if we call it a cult phenomenon, but it became really big really quickly because there was a void that just wasn't being filled. And there's a really strange I, I think because it has more success in other business models that people try to replicate it in games, in that if something is doing well, they copy that said something.
You are good at
But
things, right?
because they kind of do it in movies, don't they? I mean, for the longest time, you'd have like stuff between Disney and Pixar. One would make A Bug's Life, and then in the same year or very shortly afterwards, you'd have Ants. One would make Finding Nemo, and around the same time, you'd then get Shark Tale. So it's almost like a movie centered around this particular aspect, like maybe talking underwater or talking cars or whatever. It would always come out in twos. You'd get the good one and the terrible one shortly afterwards. And then eventually they kind of got the idea of, oh, maybe we shouldn't do this. And then it's got to the point now where Disney just redoes the shit they've already done because they can't come up with new stuff. And the other one just made Shrek sequels for ages until they hit gold with How to Train Your Dragon. It is depressing how few ideas there are nowadays. Like, it's why I adore the fact that indie games are becoming so successful. Because you get these weird little glimpses that you wouldn't get anywhere else. Like, well, there are Billions indie, isn't it? It's a pretty small company.
What?
Attention, any orders? Completed.
But I think there's a reason a lot of people just use emulators and go back to older games now, because just not many modern games have good storylines. I mean, for goodness sake, I think the flagship of last year was God of War. Like, your over the top action with the most macho motherfucker killing gods is now the gold standard for storylines in games. What the hell is going on? Oh yeah, no, Disney's given up on making new stuff and they're just remaking live action of their entire back catalogue. Like, one of my favourite Disney movies is Mulan. I always used to sing the To Be a Man song as part of a pre-drink ritual I used to do back when I actually still drank. And I was watching the trailer for the new live action and I'm just like, there's no Mushu, there's no dragon. Like, the whole point was that Mulan was just an average, normal girl who was massively unprepared for the war that she was going into, but she did it to protect her family. And then you watch the new trailer, and she's just, again, the bestest ever. She's doing these weird twirls, she's fighting off 4 dudes. It's like, that's not what Mulan's about. It's about a nobody who rises to the challenge and overcomes the obstacle. It's not about someone who's just fucking born godlike from the start. You've missed the point entirely. How can I, as an audience member, relate to this perfect creature without any flaws? It just seems to happen nowadays that, like, people forget to make interesting characters, they have to be flawed. And I always find if it's a female, it tends to be worse than that because they don't want to portray them to have any flaws. And it's like, that's not compelling in the slightest. And it's like, being too perfect is not a flaw. That's not how you write good characters. Apologies for the tangent. It bugs me. It bugs me that, I mean, you look at, what was it, one of the greatest games, according to popular census, come out recently was Undertale. And that was built by a single person with really below par graphics. But it was good because of the storyline. And it's like when... like, he had such limited resources when he made that game, and he had so many limitations, and he made a better storyline than 99% of the games out there. You just have to kind of look at, like, the big companies like, what the fuck are you doing? Right, do you think there's much point extending out all 4 ways, or do you reckon just build the colonies down these 2 and then just fortify the defences and not even bother extending out on these ones? You're gonna have a very lopsided base.
Attention, building completed.
Because we don't have, I mean, I'm assuming day 36 is the final wave. I could be wrong. Oh shit, no. Oh, I just realised. I hope that's not the final wave because fucking hell, we're gonna get hit by so many otherwise. Okay.
Great idea.
Let's just leave.
Orders, sir.
6 to patrol here and start expanding out. Yeah, and that's one thing I've kind of neglected to do. I've not been clearing at all. Still working on this whole multitasking thing. I'm too male to do it well. Also, I'm going to blame the sun because it is like a bajillion degrees. I feel like I'm in Satan's arsehole at the moment.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Woohoo! We get
Attention.
heat waves all the time now, but global warming totally isn't a thing. It's a conspiracy made by China.
Let's go. Come on.
You again.
Attention. Building completed.
Okay, let's get those rangers down there to patrol. I can just use all the soldiers to clear.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
And what was it? Have you ever heard of Shaq Fu? There was an old beat 'em up game back in the day, and it was fucking terrible. It was like pretty much just a complete gimmick. It's like, oh, we have famous basketball Shaquille O'Neal, and he's going to be a martial artist. And they made the game, and it fucking sucked. And then for whatever reason, it gained kind of a cult following. So a little while ago, there was a Kickstarter to make remake Shaq Fu. And so they remade like this side-scrolling beat 'em up with Shaquille O'Neal. It's just it's marginally less shit than the original, and it's just like, why would you spend your hard-earned money on a joke that you know is gonna be bad? I mean, you know, it's a free country, you can spend it whenever you want, but why? Why?
Attention. Building completed.
Can you spend it on better things like, I don't know, burning it for warmth? The human race is truly an enigma to me sometimes. Okay.
Attention. Building completed.
It's kind of depressing actually. The whole idea of Kickstarter I genuinely agree with. You know, someone doesn't have the funding to produce what they want, and they say, okay, I want to make this, and if I get the funding from backers, I will make it. So in concept, honestly, it's 2019, so much weird shit is happening. I'm not surprised. It's current year. Yeah, it's a really good idea, but like it's come to the point now that I don't think I would follow anything on Kickstarter, no matter who did it, because it just 99% of people who have used it have fucking done scams for it. Not too long ago, actually, there was a cartoon made by one of the original creators of Ren and Stimpy, and he started a Kickstarter, and he's like, okay, I want to make a Kickstarter to make a 12-minute short in the the same kind of gross out humor that made Ren and Stimpy good, and it's going to be called Cans Without Labels. And I think he raised, I'm pretty sure he raised in excess of 100 grand for it. And it took him
Let's go.
over 6 years to finally make the short. And it fucking sucked. It wasn't funny. It was just like, you can have over the top humor, but it was just really juvenile. And like I don't have any problem with just kind of silly humor, but I think if you're gonna have juvenile humor, you have to be smart with it. And this is like one of those. It's like, oh look, it's a parody of Donald Duck, and he's called Donald Bastard because it's heading to the colony from the north and the south. Okay. Did I delete? I did. I did delete it.
You again.
All right.
And it's like, oh yeah, he's called Donald Bastard because hey, isn't it funny that his surname's a rude word? Isn't that funny, guys? Isn't that funny? It's so fucking funny, right? Like, there's the people who did the original Aeroplane comedy sketch with grey-haired comedian whose name eludes me right now, who's in the Naked Gun stuff. They, as well as the Airplane series, they did another one. I think it's called Top Secret or something, and it was it was like set in World War II, and it's about these Nazis are trying to do. Fuck man, it's been so long since I've seen that. I remember the individual jokes. I don't remember the actual plot for it. These Nazis are trying to do something, so they hire like this Elvis impersonator type guy to come and sing for them. And just the jokes on that is where it's they go out and it's like, oh, there's too many bikes here, and they start shooing the bikes away and they run away making horse noises. And it's like, you have to be really intelligent to make really dumb humor. And instead, some people just think, oh, it's like the whole idea of if it's adult, it needs to have sex in it, and have swear words and naughty words and stuff that children aren't allowed to hear. And what happens when you do that is you end up with Torchwood, which was meant to be like the grown-up version of Doctor Who, but it was just so fucking juvenile that, okay, there was more violence in it, there was more swearing, there was more sex, but I mean, I'm not talking about recent Doctor Who, because recent Doctor Who was trash, but back in the day, you had much more interesting concepts with the Doctor Who that was made for kids than you did for the Doctor Who that was supposedly made for adults, just because they got the idea that, oh, to be adult is to have sex and violence. And it's not. That's what a teenager thinks adults need. I think most adults... to make something adult is to make it follow concepts that children wouldn't understand, and to look at more in-depth stuff.
Order, sir.
Or at least that's my interpretation. Just having sex and nudity and stuff is it's not adult. It's more childlike than if you just admitted to being a child. Okay.
The walls are under attack.
Okay. I wish I had some more soldiers up there actually, because there's a few executives that are causing some hassles. In fact, there's a lot of executives that are causing problems up there. Might be an idea. Let's move that a little bit further back. on high priority, hold them on high priority. How long till the executives stop? It doesn't actually seem like this. I think once the first bulk is gone, we should be okay. I lied. I lied. Yeah, I don't have many troops over. I really haven't been paying attention to this.
They are trying to break through. The colony is under attack. They are attacking the colony defenses. The walls are under attack.
These executives are causing me some grief.
Just tell me what to do.
I should have had a few soldiers up there to pick them off. Yeah, this is holding fine. That's going to come into some difficulties very soon.
Our defenses are being attacked.
Do we even have to build another one of these? No, not now that I've just just done that. Yeah, it's just those executives causing some problems.
At your service.
Yeah, exactly. There's a fine line between having something adult and just coming across like a horny teenager. And come across like an edgy teenager, actually, is probably a better description.
The colony is under attack. They are trying to break through.
I'm really bad at multitasking, aren't I? I just realised how few rangers and soldiers I had. That's really low.
Attacking the colony defenses.
And those two should hold just fine. But this is gonna need rescuing.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Although I'm hoping if they keep getting drawn to that left shocking tower.
Break into the
What the hell are you doing out there?
This better be good. Faster than my bow.
In fact, I only had a single layer of war, wasn't very good either. I was all like, oh, when I finally do my streams, it's going to be way better than I did it when it's not. It's not really. Oh no, that held fine. That held fine. Fucking, oh, no worries. I thought that was in much bigger trouble than it was. I mean, I still should have had about 100 more soldiers than I did, but oh well. Victory's a victory,
They are trying to break through.
whether by inches or by miles.
Reporting for duty. They are attacking the colony defenses. The walls are under
Yeah, it just got to the point of being unrealistic. Like, I think to try and be both adult and to try and be progressive, literally every character in Torchwood ended up being bisexual. Just everyone fucked everyone. Like, I'm pretty sure by the end, literally everyone on the team had fucked everyone else on the team, and it was just stupid. Like, not everyone is promiscuous, some people are quite prudish. And if you wanted to show that, you should have had some people that were just always awkward around sex and never wanted to do it. Like, it doesn't make sense that they're all massive sluts. Like, it just... And they tried to be like, oh, but it was because of this, because of that, or there was this reason. It's just like, just not everyone's like that. Not everyone is like that. It's not, yeah, not mature. Not mature. But that's victory. We just need to get 300 more colonists. And we're done. It's not been the cleanest victories, but none of this is. I'm really bad at live streaming. So let's just spunk down the last of the tents and move on to the next one. I'm not actually too sure what the next position is. It might be a Farmville one. I hope it's not.
Attention. Building completed.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want a truly adult show, you need to watch Adventure Time. That tackles the real themes, like
Building complete.
what happens when your dog's burrito sandwich gets stolen.
Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station.
Or what to do when your dog is voiced by Bender.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Just guide me to the
Attention.
infects.
Building completed. Attention. 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 Building completed.
Okay, that should be this one done if I've gotten built upgrade enough. Hey, fuck this map. Fuck this map. Alright, so Lowlands is done, and the Narrow Pass is done. Those were the two I just didn't want to fucking deal with. Didn't want to deal with. Okay, there's another hero mission around here somewhere, I'm fairly certain. Is it past the Valley of Death? I think it might be down here. Alright, so what do we have? We've got a swarm, which I'm not touching with 10-foot pole for a little bit longer. A smaller swarm, which isn't too bad. Or the Oasis or the Lonely Forest. Or a swarm that leads to the Valley of Death. Zayn, what you thinking? Where should I be heading off to? I don't know which one's actually the ideal position to go to. So what should we send these points on? Because we want the we're going to want Lucifer's before we deal with that swarm, which is at least 400 points away. Valley of Death, I'm pretty sure. Oh, I know that one. Oh, that one's horrible. Let's do it. I hate that one. I hate that one so much. Okay, what can we do to make the early game a bit easier for us then? Advanced training could be useful. Villa of Terror then leads to another hero mission. Is that... Oh, that's after the Valley of Death. Do you reckon we should do the Lonely Forest or Oasis? The Oasis would be really easy if we get the artillery transport, because it's quite a large area to deal with. The Lonely Forest is... IRC IRC what Valley of Death is. I don't know what IRC means, dude. Valley of Death's the one. Valleys of Death is the one where if you sneeze, you get swarmed. Because we do want. We actually, at this point, we probably want snipers and lucifers before we do with that swarm. Is there anything here that we can use to help the early game? Extra sniper at the beginning. Do not want. That'll get me killed. Extra soldier at the beginning. Do not want. That'll get me killed. Extra defense barrier is okay, but extra soldier, so I'm skipping that one. Hunter Cottage food generation plus 20%. It's nice, but I'm not sure how much of an impact it's going to have. Medicine. It's not really needed, is it? No, technology's research time is not, again, not really needed. Corpse recycling would be nice, but not when it's hidden behind that. So I don't know whether to just continue with the train line or just start making preparations to get the sniper. Yeah, but they both are. They're both quite dull. Means we can talk more. Less concentration. Soldiers and towers, yeah. Let's just do the swarm for now, whilst I'm deciding. Because this one I don't think is too bad. I'm pretty sure we just spunk a bunch of soldiers in the centre and you're done. If memory serves. Oasis isn't as much of a swarm feel, is it? Oasis is the one where you still get hit with mini waves quite a lot. Whereas the Lonely Forest is just the one big one.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Reporting for
Yeah, that's gonna hold just fine. Yeah, 200 plus, so they ain't getting through that. Oh yeah, I must have missed some research points. You normally have enough for a single ranger at the end. Yeah, I did. There was one. I was streaming. I was talking to some dude, and I was worried it was taking too long. I was like, "Fuck it,
Commander?
it's not that important."
Orders, sir. Just tell me what to do.
I still don't understand why they don't just have all of the collectibles is just yellow, just to make it easy. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's not as bad as it used to be, but it's still fucking annoying. Yeah, might as well get this running while we decide. Because the big swarm up north, I think like you're gonna need the snipers, and I think you can do it without the snipers, but it's a lot easier with them. The soldiers aren't as good, and I don't even know if it's doable without lucifers. Whereas Valley of Death, it's not too bad, but it's really easy to fuck up. This is nice and relaxing at least. Sit back with a cold one and just watch them all die. I'm pretty sure that just put me on at least 12 FBI watch lists. Oh. Some techs that really help the farm fills. I am listening. I think I have the one for the cottages, but I thought you needed to be a lot further along, like into like high technology, like pretty late game before we got the other ones. Ah, I see. There's actually quite a lot of 50% for shocking sales. Okay, that's pretty tasty. So I do want the artillery transport sooner rather than later, so I'm trying to factor that in as well. The problem is that the 2 upgrades before the final one aren't that useful. Like the extra oil intake, I don't find that useful because you need oil upkeep. So getting a little bit of extra oil, all it does is occasionally you can set it off for gold. And the other one is you get a little bit of extra gold, which gold isn't really our limiting factor, it's the resources. Like the wood and the stone mostly. So to go and get the artillery, I think that's going to cost me about 700 to 800 points. And I was initially just going to rush to it, but I'm not sure how good that's actually going to be. Especially because, I mean, okay, wasps are good, you can just stick them down, especially for the early waves, it makes a big difference, but I don't know how, yeah, I don't know if they're that fucking useful, you know? Like, they fall off pretty quickly, they're just like a slightly stronger soldier. And they're good because they don't cost much upkeep, so they can cover an area. I say actually that they're because of how much damage they can tank, they're pretty significantly stronger soldier, but I just don't know. God damn, most of these aren't even firing. Let's split these off into 2 groups. Let's have one defend this, and then one just do what it wants.
Units under attack.
Man, it doesn't take long for them to screw themselves over and go stupid ways, does it?
All right.
Like, I'm really curious what the coding is whenever you tell them to go and chase, like how they prioritize it, because it's definitely not whatever zombie's closest. I don't know how they decide their next target, other than it's usually always bad. Like, it seems if whatever AI they're using, it's more complex than literally scan immediate area, target zombie that is the fewest tiles away.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
When a simple one would be better.
Units under attack. Our forces are in danger.
Ready and waiting. Understood. On your orders.
Units under attack.
Waiting on orders. Come on. Ready and waiting. Sorry, sir.
Our forces are in danger.
Any orders? Just tell me what to do.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Let's go. That one, easy. Tell me.
Units under attack.
Ready and waiting.
Our forces are in danger.
Right, so Valley of Death, Oasis or Lonely Forest? What are you feeling? It might be an idea to save my point, just go straight for advanced machinery. I'm not sure what else there is that I need enough to go for. Energy and view range is fine, but it's not game changing. That's not really useful for the points. Autonomous weapons, that's okay. We don't usually get to concrete just yet, so I'm probably going to save that for a bit longer. Oh god, you're right there. You don't even have advanced machinery. Nope, nope I don't. So I might save up for that, get that next. I don't have Lucifers yet. I've focused entirely on the early game, which is done alright. Valley of Death. These just all give the same number of points, aren't they? They're all 240. Which also means whatever we get isn't going to be helping us for putting it into there. So we could just go straight for the Valley of Death. It's probably the most... It's definitely the most difficult of these three. But that would lead to one of the other... show your entire tree. You gotta buy me dinner first. Right? So I've already got the... An inn's not a bad idea, actually. Inn's really not a bad idea, because that means I can get the units that I don't yet have unlocked and get a gold increase. Inn's really not a bad idea. What does Games and Gambling do? Well, I have every 3 days. Oh, is it not, it's normally every 4, isn't it? I don't think I can wait later for the upgrade. If you get that, we could get thermal energy, but then again, wood's usually quite limiting. Yeah, it's still like over 800 points to get those, so yeah, I'm probably just gonna leave that for now. There's actually quite a lot of tech around here that I don't think's that useful, to be honest. Like wire fence trap plus 30%, wire fence. In all honesty, I could probably make do without either of those. Plus 10% defensive buildings. I mean, I don't want them hitting my buildings in the first place. So like all of that I could probably skip. A lot of these wonders, if I'm going to get them, it's going to be super late game anyway. And something like the Atlas Transmutator, I don't think that's useful in the campaign at all. Mercenaries every 2 days. What, as in they stack, or it just supersedes it? Because... oh, you fuck mine, yeah. The mercenaries are every 2 days. What the fuck? That's really baffling. They should have just done it so that both of them were like -1 day, so that takes it down to 2, and then that takes it down to 1. Or rather, that takes it down to 3, then that takes it down to 2. So you'd have to have both of them to get the effect. Tungsten store. It would be nice, but at the same time, it's only 10%, and at that point, maybe. Oh, I mean, like if instead of saying it does it to 3 days, it does it -1, and the other one does it -1. So you need both to have it for 2. All right. I'm not looking forward to this one. I'm never looking forward to them. But let's get this out of the way. The Valley of Death. Undoubtedly, the Valley of Death is an inhospitable and terrible place to build a colony, but its strategic position is of vital importance to the Empire. Being on the edge of the Great Desert, no swarms of infected can reach the colony. However, there is a large population of infected in the region, because of 2 human villages that were infected long ago. The region is so barren that you'll have to make the most of each arable space to keep a self-sufficient colony with an acceptable population. I'm also actually thinking, I did overlook it, I'm not saying it now, maybe later in the game we might value it more, but it's not too useless. I think to do the farm. You think the farm, Phil? I was going to think maybe hunting weapons to help with that one. If I fail the farm, Phil, man, like, I'm going to commit death by rope noose. I'm going to go commit not light live anymore. If we didn't do the farm, Phil. Okay, yeah, I do have the bank in the market. Let's do the Lonely Forest then. I have been vetoed. I listen to my audience. My single member. The Lonely Forest. This small valley that seems to have gone unnoticed by the infected sits deep in the forest. In this region you can build a large colony without risk of being infected. Build a large colony, saving the space and resources to succeed. However, although there are no infected in the region, we have detected a colossal swarm come from the mountains that is 40 days away from this place. You have lots of time to fortify the colony and prepare your army to face the swarm, but do not get overconfident. Are there any mini waves in this, or is it literally just the final swarm? I wholeheartedly disagree with you on that one. I think this one is much easier than the Oasis. I mean, Oasis isn't very hard, but I did cuck up the Aces. I did this first time. The Aces, I tried to expand out too quickly to cover all the walls, stretched myself too thin and died. So it's more me being stupid than anything, but... Okay.
What? Roger that.
Ah, I see. Yeah, this is like the
You are
lowlands. It's
gonna
quite a
pay me
small
for
map,
this, right? What?
but
Yes.
that shouldn't be a
You are
problem.
gonna pay me for this, right? You again. Great.
Final swarm. That's why it's fun. But oh, it's only 32 days on Apocalypse, not 40. It lied to me.
Yes. Are there other units to bother?
But yeah, this will be good. I just need
Oh,
to make sure
there
I
we go
pause
again.
quite a
Great.
lot, and we shouldn't have any troubles.
Yes.
Gives us time to brainstorm the later missions.
What? Yeah. Gotcha. You are gonna pay me for
Train
this,
has
right?
arrived at the
Yes.
station.
The train has arrived at the station. Yeah, 40 days to do everything, kill the swarm. So I've got 48 days here. As well, after the swarm's done, you get like over 10 days to fill that up. That's very generous. But I suppose I have to compensate for not everyone's playing on Apocalypse.
Are there other units to bother? What? Great. Yes, tell me. But be quick.
So triple walls around everything, shocking towers everywhere with soldiers in between. Should have it all covered.
Attention.
I've been going really light on the walls recently. I don't know why, I've just not been playing to optimal standards. This would be a nice chill one. I've got some nice refreshing alcoholic beverages because work has been exhausting this week. I feel so mortified. Legitimately, yesterday I was so exhausted that Dr. Agnes, one of the girls I work with, was explaining how to do something to me, and I was looking at her, I was nodding, and I literally just fucking fell asleep while she was midway through explaining something to me, and she woke me up and she's like, oh, she was like laughing. She obviously, you know, we're good friends. She had a good humor about it. It's like, I'll go get yourself a coffee. You're obviously tired, but I was so fucking mortified. As many shocking towers as possible, 200 plus soldiers. Wooden towers from the soldiers is a plus. Yes, yes. I reckon I'm going to try and alternate shocking, ballista, and then stick soldiers in between them. Because it's not that big. It shouldn't be that hard to actually fill right out to the ends. Did we unlock thermal plants? I don't think we did we?
Attention. Building completed.
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? In actual fact, I'm pretty sure this is the first time we're going to be able to build a proper housing district all campaign. Like, we've either been strapped for space, or we just haven't had the research to do it previously. I think I did also want to rush the artillery because it makes these farm fields quite trivial. By the time the swarm comes, you've got 32 plus wasps to help you, but it's not use. Farm fields aren't really difficult enough to warrant teching for them.
The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed.
Oh, and horror of horrors, I know you're not as
Gotcha.
invested in it as I am, but they're making a World War Z 2? Why?
What?
I say that actually. World War Z, despite the fact that it was a shitty, mediocre movie, which was made more insulting from the fact that it was based on a genuinely fantastic novel, made a shit ton of money. But it's so bad. It's so bad. I'm not telling you what to like and what not to like, but if you like the World War Z movie, maybe reevaluate your life.
Attention. Building complete.
There's one bit towards the end where Brad Pitt's like he's just gotten this stuff out and he's just drinking like a Pepsi, and it just looks like a fucking commercial. And because I'm pretty sure they got paid advertising to do it, and it's so on the nose, it's so bad. I'm just watching like how the like no one's falling for this. Where do we want to stick that? We do want the walls, yeah. Maybe. That's not a great place for it, but fuck it. Actually, no. Not fuck it. Oh, fuck it. Because we want to have the fences up there. I do like the plus 23, but that was also a pretty good. Ah, fuck it. Spending too much time thinking, not enough time doing. Comes a point where you just have to chuck it in the fuck it bucket.
The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. 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 Attention. Building completed.
I keep seeing in some of the discords I go into these memes about, oh, if a zombie apocalypse happened, everyone would be screaming, but not us gamers. We've been praying for this the whole life, and it's just like, motherfucker, you would die in the first 2 days if you didn't have internet. I know, because I would kill myself in 2 days if I didn't have internet. It's because you played a simulation doesn't mean you know how to do it. The people that would survive are all of the historical weapon enthusiasts. There's a YouTuber called Skellingram who does, I think you've got Shadowversity, Skellingram, the Metatron. There's a few others I watch, and they do a lot of like testing out on different weapons. They just have a whole collection of, you know, not just fakes but real weapons that they go and test out on. I think they're called zombie heads. You can buy from like these prosthetic companies or something. And so they're meant to stimulate what it would actually be like to try and go through them. And unsurprisingly, for anyone who's like a big fan of The Walking Dead, a skull is hard to get through. Like, I think in The Walking Dead they try to be like, oh, it's a rotting zombie, so it's easy to get through. And it's like, it's still a fucking skull, man. Still really hard. I mean, admittedly, an infected wouldn't care about its well-being, so it wouldn't be able to defend itself properly, so you could probably get a clean strike quite easy in comparison to a human, but getting through a skull ain't easy. Really isn't. Those things are designed to protect you really well.
Building completed.
And I fail to see how most sweaty gamers would even have enough upper body strength to get through one. I say this because I am a sweaty gamer. I certainly don't have enough upper body strength to get through one.
The train has arrived at the station.
Like even just pulling a bow back, just the draw strength required for that is absolutely taxing quite quickly. Especially if it's a proper bow with enough power behind it.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Technology research finished. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Yeah, 1, 2. Actually, no, the end's a bit bigger, isn't it? So, what we want. Wait, saying how big is the inn? Is it 3 by 3 or 4 by 4?
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
The inn, the space it uses up, is it a 3 by 3 space or a 4 by 4 space?
Attention.
The
Building
inn.
completed.
The mercenary place.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
4 by 4. Okay, yeah, I do need to leave that extra space then. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 space housing.
Attention. train has arrived at the station.
Okay, how far can this go across? Pretty fucking far actually. Um,
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
oh no, we need one more space, don't we? 1, 2, space. That'll be enough for the bank, the market, and the inn.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. 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 The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Technology research finished.
And 2 more at the end here. Oh, we don't actually have the power.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
You are gonna pay me for this, right?
The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
That is lopsided and it is going to tilt me off the face of the planet. Eee.
The train has arrived at the station.
Now if we have spare resources, we might as well start making those soldiers. Don't know how many soldier centers we're going to need for the end. Energy, 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 energy.
Attention. Building completed. 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 Attention. Building completed.
arrived at the station. Attention, building completed. 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 The train has arrived at the station. Attention, building completed. Attention, building completed. Attention, building completed. Attention, building completed. Attention, technology research finished. Attention, building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
I really should have done the wood one before I did the stone one, didn't I? That was dumb. It was dumb. Okay. But most of the speech, please. Most of the groundwork is now laid. And we have 15 days till the horde arrives. Should give us ample opportunity to get things set up. I think so the shocking towers aren't wasted. If we put a ballista at every corner and then alternate it from inwards. Just because power I think is going to be a little bit trickier than
Attention. Building completed. Attention.
workers. In fact, workers should not be even a slight problem. Though I do wish I'd gone for those thermal power plants at this point though. I underestimate just how small this space is.
Technology research finished. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Technology research finished.
Do we want... Do you want to put a blister there? Because that is an awkward corner. I think I might make an exception to that one.
Attention. Building completed.
Another warehouse. Another warehouse. That couldn't go astray.
Building completed.
Or an inn. Earth. Oof. 2,000 gold though.
Building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed.
Oh.
Attention. Building completed.
Yeah.
Attention. Building completed.
Can we wait? Oh, wait 16 hours to get this up.
Attention. Building completed.
Oh, shy on stone by the slightest margin. How much is that? Ah, no, that's not okay. Ah, fuck. Alright, so what we're gonna have to... Oh no. I left that space deliberately, but not very well apparently. Okay, if I destroy that, how much power goes down? Okay, and then that should reconnect it. That'd be an idea actually to do this, and that way it all links round, so if something does go wrong in the final wave, we have a contingency in place. What? Alright. Probably want a shock and tell there actually, rather than a ballista. And probably put them in the corners, because the corners tend not to get attacked all that heavily. I thought that was a horde of zombies then. That gave me a right proper spookage. Okay, just need more gold again.
Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
I don't think it matters where it's up or down, does it? That's gonna cover literally my entire housing district. Fan Dabby Dozy!
The train has arrived at the station. Attention, building completed.
I probably want to start cranking out some soldiers actually. We've only got 10 days left.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty. Just tell me what to do.
Okay, let's get the shocking towers up sooner rather than later. Let's not risk it much longer. It's because they use up so much stone and we're only able to store so much.
The train has arrived at the station.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Attention, building completed. Attention, building completed. Attention, technology research.
I wonder if we can build that a bit closer.
Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
It always gets a bit funky around the corners. Well, we've got sniper and 2 veteran soldiers. I'll take those.
The train has arrived at the station.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, Grey Blister doesn't require stone, that's great. Wait, what? Oh, that must have got ticked down. Yeah, start getting these up. Because we're not able to store too much stone, and I don't want to not be able to build it.
Reporting for duty.
I know we can stick some more sawmills in, actually. We are... stick one there. Never enough wood. Never enough wood in my life. Something that to me...
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Ah, that's a bloody awkward position one.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
The train has arrived at the station.
I actually don't have so many days. Bear with me 1 second.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
The train has arrived at the station.
Reporting for duty. Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed.
Let's try. Okay. That's going to be a weak link. Don't have too much longer left. We're not going to have time to put on the towers. I want a few more along here.
Attention. Building completed.
Should have just enough to get
Attention.
pretty much everything
Quality research
covered.
Attention. Building completed.
If only just.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed.
But as I feared, the lack of stone is definitely going to be the biggest problem. So, let's sell all our iron. And that didn't give us much gold anyway. Let's see how much stone we can get. Oh, and energy, and energy.
Reporting for duty.
It's becoming quite tight. Okay, that should be more than enough to cover everything that's left.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
And then probably just a case of rather than equally placing all our soldiers around, probably just focus them to the vital shocking towers and make sure they're defended.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed.
So I want at least probably another 4 or 5 if I can. Whether I'm not going to get them is a different story.
Reporting for duty.
My bow and arrows are ready.
The train has arrived at the station.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, we have 17 of those. I didn't realise we had so many. Doesn't feel like we got that many.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Attention. Building completed.
Reporting for duty.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, no, 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 no. Just sold the stone rather than bought the stone. That's not good. Okay, so should be able to get at least 2 more up for the wave. Actually, we're going for 24 hours once. No, we don't. We get 12 hours. Shit. Okay. Where do we want to focus our defensive efforts? Where's the weakest? Probably along here. How far does that extend? Actually, here and here are probably our 2 weakest areas.
Yes, tell me what to do.
So let's get 5 there,
That's a set.
5 there, and the sniper.
All the way.
A few more there. The bottom side, I reckon that's pretty well defended. I'll put the remainder there.
Reporting for duty.
Come on, get the next tick, get the next tick, get the next tick. Okay, so. And then if we sell 2 little bits of wood. Okay, so all ballistas on highest, shock towers doesn't matter. All soldiers on highest, all snipers on highest, everyone on highest.
Your sniper at your service. Your darkest thoughts.
That could be a weak point. Let's see how this plays out.
They are trying to break
Is
through.
everything okay?
They are attacking the colony defenses.
Yes, definitely a weak point. I seem to have completely neglected to build a tower there at all. So we want to see if we can at least partially pull them towards that shocking tower.
Commander?
And I think to facilitate that, actually no, you guys need to defend that bit.
The walls are under attack. They are trying to break into the buildings.
Let's just put some contingencies in place in case things go a bit peak-tong.
Defenses are being attacked. Our buildings are being attacked. They are infecting our buildings.
I think most importantly we can't let that fall. So just in case it does, because that's going to be disastrous. Going to be a disaster. Let's get enough. Well, that's actually holding by itself. Let's just leave one sniper because he's going to be too slow to move anyway. And if there's any ranges we can pull up here, that'll be good. Because the way they attack quite spread out, which means you don't need too much in one area to stop them, but if there's even a weak area they will find it. And my complete lack of a shocking tower here will certainly constitute a weak area. Perhaps I should have built more traps on the outside from the offset.
They are trying to break through.
This better be good.
The colony is under attack. Our colonists are coming to infect.
Okay, we're negative power. Does that mean these stop firing, or what happens? So it doesn't look like they're out of power. It looks like they're still firing. Is it like a limited time? Because we can just delete some houses if it doesn't. Okay, so it's these two that have gone down, which thankfully
The infection is spreading across the colony.
is an area that can actually survive without it.
You're good at painting.
Okay, let's try and get you into the range of this tower. Please come over here. I'll keep an eye on that bit as well. Yeah, I didn't quite manage to get as many shocking towers up as I would have liked. Let's be safe. So there was a few areas that were
Our soldiers are in
a
trouble.
little bit weak.
At your service.
They are attacking the colony defenses.
Cleaning my way.
I'm pretty sure those spike traps will deal with them, but just in case.
Units under attack.
Oh god, look at them get ripped. Ripped apart.
Attention. Building complete.
Understood.
The walls are under attack.
Come on.
A few things fell apart a bit here and there, but nothing too major.
Our defenses are being attacked.
No soldiers actually died, that's the important thing. And now we have time to just get up to our colonist count and we're done. Nice and easy. Nice and easy. A few areas fell, but it's kind of where we expected to have a little bit of trouble just because we didn't. Okay, admittedly, I completely forgot to put one there. That was just me being dumb. I probably spent too long trying to make sure that.
Here we go again.
So I did make sure that certain areas were pretty much guaranteed not to fall. So I could at least identify which ones would. It might have been smart if I just spaced it out a little bit better, but a win to win. That's what matters. Didn't mean to destroy that. Didn't mean to destroy that. Okay.
Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. 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 The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. 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 train has arrived at the station.
Oh, how many colonists do we need? 1,600. Are you having a giggle? All right, just keep upgrading when we can.
Building complete.
And victory will eventually be ours. Nice and easy. Not too bad actually. This one. Again, not as clean as I would like it, but I don't think any of these have been as clean as I would like them.
Attention.
I'm
Building
definitely feeling that the
completed.
upgrade to mills, not mills, sorry, the quarry upgrade will be worth it because I'm always struggling for stone or wood, one or the other. So they might be worth it, but I'm pretty sure there's quite a bit of tech I have to get until I get them.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. 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 The train has arrived at the station. Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Thanatos. Ready and cool.
Building completed.
Thanatos. Ready and cool.
Oh, they were going to fight anything else.
Wow.
I just like having a
Let me
Thanatos.
crush some skulls. Yes? Not to be hurried. Yes?
Attention. Building completed.
Wow.
Right, there must be some tents left. There they are. Oh boy, just the stuff for the stone ones now. Okay.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed. The train has arrived at the station.
Ah, you piss take. You absolute munchkin.
Attention. Building completed. Attention. Building completed.
Maybe I should have built up the colony a bit more before the wave came. I'd have had more gold to spend. Then again, the exchange rate for gold to stone is just so awful. It doesn't matter when you earn shit tons. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I could have done it better. Probably could have done it better. Right, and here she comes, finally. Colony completed.
Our great general has returned. 3 years have passed, and the Empire now holds 12 colonies. I do not know if it's talent or mere luck that accompanies you, but you have become the most valuable instrument for the new Empire. Be aware, your responsibility is growing. If the new colonies succumb to the infection, the infected will multiply in such a way that even the prominent walls of the Great Crater will not be enough to avoid the ruin of Empire City. And we will return to the darkest time known by humans. The fate of the new Empire is in your hands now. You can continue on your way.
They definitely could have done something a little bit more with Quintus, couldn't they? With his writing and whatnot. Anyway, what we got here, 16,000 infected, Noxious one afterwards, going for 3.5 hours. I reckon doing this last one will probably be a decent place to stop. Not much concentration at the best of times, but it definitely dips after 4 hours, so should be a nice, easy, straightforward one. We don't actually have. Do you know, that's what we were saving up for, wasn't it? Is to get. We still can't get. Lucifers. God damn it. And in fact, even doing this won't give us that. That's annoying. That's fine. We'll just do this one. I reckon we'll call it until next time. Infected swarm with 16,252 infected. And as we've been doing so far, I honestly think just a soldier blob should be able to deal with this with relative ease. It's only once you start getting into chubbies and harpies and spitters and stuff do things get a bit more exacerbated. But the last one we had so many soldiers that like about 60% weren't even firing, so
Sir, at your service. Commander? At your service.
Oh, whoops. Didn't actually click on everyone to come in. Run, you fool! Fly, you fools!
At your service. Sorry, sir. I was cleaning my weapon.
Definitely coming in a lot quicker than the last one. Oh man. Oh man, did I underestimate this? Uh-oh. Oh, that would be embarrassing if I have. I think once we get a couple of veterans we'll be in a better spot, right? Oof. Oof. Oh, I might have made a big boof here. Big oof. Whoops. Hold on. They are getting. Oh.
Orders, sir. All right. Understood.
Oh no. Whoops, 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 whoops. Alright. If any of you were gonna hit veteran status, now would be the time.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Let's go. Any orders?
Alright, let's try and take some of that pressure off, shall we? It looks like they're getting funneled through there.
Let's go.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Our forces are in danger.
Oh man.
Understood.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Damn it. Hold the colony.
Oh, that's a problem.
Units under attack.
Oh no. Oh fuck. This is what happens when you underestimate it. Oh no. Oh no.
That will be easy.
Oh fuck.
Our soldiers are in trouble.
Alright, I thought this would have been enough.
Units under attack.
That's a big oof. So at least we've realised this is the point at which soldiers alone won't cut it. Yeah, let's just retire that. I think that's a good point to call it. That didn't happen. That never happened. You saw nothing. You saw nothing. Right. Wow. Yeah. Thank you for joining me. That's embarrassing. That's embarrassing. Oops. Yeah. Right. I'm calling it there. Thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you in the next stream. Bye bye.